great show lined up for you today.
Yes.
Chefs.
Great program.
Yeah. We're going to spill the beans on quite a bit related to the album.
Yeah,
so maybe
pay attention.
Pay attention. Keep like a yellow legal pad handy so you can jot down like song titles and elements from the album that we're going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Very specific things that are in certain songs, you know. Lots of cool details on today's show that you can like take note of, and then you can go on our Facebook page and you can like post about it and leak information that we've not officially talked about.
Yeah.
You can be like, I feel like that's something that you could do to raise your fan level. If we see you like leaking information,
yeah,
then you're gonna gain fan points.
Mm-hmm. Right now, we say it later. We name our number one fan.
Yeah.
Later in the podcast, and just keep in mind we're the kind of people that are going to give back to certain fans.
Yeah.
If you, that's part of. I've talked about it before. On previous casts, but. A portion of the reason that I want to be successful is just so I can use that success to give to other people.
Yeah.
To give to people that have helped me achieve that success. So I want to be able to do special things for them. So you guys just, it's all a process of like when we're able to do special things. But when we are, just know it's going to happen. So if you just want to know, like if you want to be a part of that, like you can get on board now. I'm telling you, one day.
Don't get grabby hands.
No, don't get grabby hands.
Because then you won't get anything.
It's only like if you really actually like us.
Yeah.
Like.
And we'll know.
Yeah, we will.
So do it in the spirit of doing it just because you enjoy our stuff and you want to help us.
Yeah. And
down the road,
if you like us, we will like you.
Good things will happen.
Yeah.
So, today we name our number one fan at the moment.
Right now.
So, pay attention. And also get in touch with us on the internets. Email us at... well, you know what? I've simplified things for the moment. If you want to get in touch with us, you can just email superdivorce@superdivorceme.com.
Superdivorce@superdivorceme.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah.
So if you want to send us an email for whatever reason, feel free. If you want to get in touch with us on Facebook, facebook.com/superdivorce. Instagram at superdivorceband, Twitter at superdivorce, and where else? You want to get in touch with me, just Nicholas Villars, wherever you go.
If you want to get in touch with me, you can probably find me on Facebook through like comments on Super Divorce posts or likes on Super Divorce posts, or you can follow me on Instagram at BenderButt. All one word, BenderButt. And that's it.
So
enjoy this new episode, chefs.
Yeah, enjoy.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
We are not getting a divorce.
Hey man, welcome to the Super Divorce SUPERCAST. This is Nicholas.
And Bender's here too.
And today we are going to talk about, I think, our entire trip recording this new album.
Yep. Because guess what? It's done.
It is. It is done. Well, for the most part. I mean, we still need to do like the artwork and all that crap. But
right,
song-wise, it's finished.
Yep.
And it sounds awesome.
Yeah, we left the studio yesterday with 2 master CDs. So it's, oh man, I've been listening to it in the car already because I was just like, fuck it, I didn't listen to these songs enough in the last 2 weeks, you know. And it's when you sit down, and especially in that setting, like you're in your car and you're driving somewhere or whatever, but you're like, it's your environment, you're out of the studio, so it feels more real. In that setting, when you listen to the album like front to back, it's so fantastic.
It is a buffet.
Oh yeah.
It is a 5-course meal. There's just like, there's so much to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite an adventure. It's a journey of an album.
It really is.
You know,
And
you guys are gonna love it.
Yeah, I think we went in, you know, with like a kind of we just went in with like an idea. Like, okay, we want to do 80s pop, but like we weren't really sure 100% like where it was going to take us and whatever. And I think it ended up taking us to where we've got songs that are wholly just 80s. I mean, just straight out of the decade. And then we've got, you mentioned it with one of our songs, then we've got songs that are inspired by like 80s artists' more recent work.
Yeah.
So they feel very modern. Some of the songs feel very modern and new. And it's just, you're right, it's just a buffet. It's really exciting to listen to it and get this whole spectrum of 80s pop music.
It's going to be very difficult to get bored listening to this record.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's the first time that I've ever put something out, and I told you this, where I felt like when I was listening back to it, I could very easily see this being at least a few people's favorite album they hear this year.
Yeah.
You know, that's 100% just me shooting straight. I'm not hyping it beyond what I believe. It's just, when I listen to it, it sounds like something that I would love to listen to.
Yeah.
And usually, I think, you know, I've always enjoyed the music I've made, but I've never put an album together that I've really enjoyed this much. You know, where the songs just are genuinely fun for me to listen to. Like, I can be confident about work I've put out in the past, but, you know, this, I want to keep listening to it. Yeah. Just right along with the other CDs that I've been listening to as of late. You know, this will go right into the rotation. Yeah. It just fits right in there. Like, I'm already, you know, I'm excited to like show it to my mom, because I know, especially with like the type of music and the subject matter and everything, and kind of our obvious pull away from that like post-hardcore stuff, like this is like total classroom music. Yeah. Like she, you know, she's played some of our music in the classroom before. But this is absolutely something she could put on for her students of all ages. Yeah. And it would be great, just great background music. And you know, it's also really fun to sit down and analyze, because there's a lot of moving parts in these songs. There's a lot of layers to dig through. But it's also just fun to listen to and not pay attention to it. Yeah. And it's, you know, with there being so much there, it's also cool that they have almost like, there's at least one part, I think, in every song that's almost kind of instantly memorable. To where when we were driving around listening to it earlier today, Lazarus was like routinely singing along to certain parts by the end of each song. Yeah. And he loved the gavel. Yeah. He's like, this is like video game music. That's so awesome. And Jess loved all of your parts too. Really? Yeah. She said you guys couldn't have, you know, utilized your vocal style in any better way. It's just like perfect the way everything fits in there. Yeah. My mom, I was telling her about recording vocals, and I sent her just like a Snapchat that I had taken in the booth or whatever. And I called her on Monday after I had recorded. We were driving back to Dawn's, and she even said, she was just like, you know, how'd it go? And I was telling her everything, and I was telling her how excited I was, and that my vocals were like basically a blend of
Tears for Fears and B-52s.
Yeah.
Like, that's just my natural tone
Yeah.
that I learned. And she was like, well, that's good, because honestly, when you told me you wanted to sing, I was a little like, well, I don't know how this is going to go. And I was like, everybody was. It was all, even I was like, I'm going to sing, but I don't know if it's going to make it onto the album.
Yeah.
But after she saw that little video and, you know, she was like, okay, all right, I can get on board with this. And I can't wait to show her the music, because she loves the B-52s. So I think a lot of my parts are just going to be right up her alley.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun for people to hear. I can't wait to get the ball rolling on beginning to put out, you know, some little snippets here and there and get a video idea down. And, you know, there's still a lot of work to do, obviously, but it's cool to have that part of it done now, because now we just begin another phase of, you know, this whole production.
Yep.
But things have moved right along the whole way. That's what is so cool about this, is that I feel like we have an idea of what we want to do, and we're just doing that, you know? And it's not, there's a lot to it, but really it's like it's the smoothest process, I think, that I've ever been a part of.
Well, it's just fun, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, we look ahead, and the work is like, okay, we have to come up with a video idea, and then we have to, like, you know, start putting out teasers, and then we have to figure out what the single is, and then we have to figure out what we're going to do about the video for the single and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like, I can't wait to figure all that stuff out, because that just means it's like closer to people listening to it and getting to hear it. And it's just it's so exciting. I had a video idea on the way over here for Holding Hands and Teenage Alien. Like, because I think, you know, those songs, all I'm going to say about those songs right now is that they're sister songs.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, we need to do sister videos for it too.
Yeah, I like that idea.
I would love to do, like, and, you know, you even think about, like, the release of videos from other bands and stuff. I would love to do, like, a single, and then, like, something else, maybe, like, another single, and then a double, like, Holding Hands and Teenage Alien, sort of like one after the other.
Yeah.
As a part 1 and part 2.
That'd be cool.
Your dad needs to be in Teenage Alien.
Yeah. I'll have to rope him into that.
I just had, like, this, you know, just this vision of, like, both of us in, like, leather jackets, you know, and sunglasses at night. Just, like, you know, walking down alleyways. And, like, you would be, like, you know, looking cool and then, like, singing. And then for my background parts, you know, I'd be, like come up, like, superimposed over everything. Just, like, behind your shoulder, like, singing my parts and everything. Like those terrible, like, photographs.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like that. And then also filmed on, like, VHS quality cameras, nothing really well shot.
Yeah.
God, it'll be so fun. It's going to be so fun making videos for this.
So we, when did we start? Was it, what day did we go up there? Was it June 12th?
On Monday, yeah. And it's now June 29th.
And we had booked all the way through July 12th.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think we figured we wouldn't use all of the time, but it's still cool that we finished so early. Because I mean, you came back a couple times, but I stayed in Michigan for the duration, and stayed up at Hotel Bauer at our producer Josh, his father-in-law's place, and always loved going there and hanging out, talking to Don, which is pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
You know, he gets going, and, you know, it's quite, there's never any strange silence when you're talking to Don.
Nope, he'll just go.
Yeah, he'll go.
If there is like a pause and he's not done talking yet, he'll just reiterate everything that he said to keep the conversation moving.
But he's a great guy.
Yeah.
It's always great to see him. And so, very, very comfortable when you're not recording to go back to Don's place. And, you know, we always feel very welcome when we're there. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to leave the studio and have that kind of homey environment to go back to.
Yeah, instead of having to go back to like a sterile hotel or something.
Because if we wouldn't be staying with Don, we wouldn't have been staying in a 5-star resort,
Right. It would have been some shitty one room,
So that was nice, and we the first day we went up there, what did we do when we got there? We went and shopped at the local Meijer, didn't we?
Which was terrible.
Yeah. It was just like really, really awfully scattered, and the layout didn't make sense.
No. It just seemed dirty. That Meijer just seemed dirty.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Meijer's just, I don't know. I don't like Meijer very much.
I would say #, not all Meijers, though.
Yeah, not all Meijers, but like everyone I've ever been in is like just one mild step above like Marsh.
What is that?
Marshes, like.
I've never been to Marshes.
Marsh. There's one in Middletown. There's probably like the last one. It's just another, Have you ever been to the Crow Ghetto in?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I used to live right down the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
scary.
I feel like every Meijer, not every Meijer, # not every Meijer, but most Meijer are like only a mild step above the Crow Ghetto.
The West Carrollton Meijer's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's the one I always went to growing up. I mean, when we would go to Meijer, that's the one we went to.
Uh-huh.
We were more Kroger shoppers.
The one in Middletown's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it seems like there's no one shops there whenever I go.
Yeah.
I typically go later in the evening.
Right.
But I guess it's clean enough,
Yeah.
That Meijer, the one we went to, it was just like so picked over.
Yeah. It just felt like a lot of people had just come in and just sort of just put their hands all over everything.
Maybe it was an off day. I don't know.
know.
Like they forgot to do their shit.
Well, the Meijer closer to Don's wasn't that much. It was better, but it wasn't much better.
Yeah.
I just hate like going to different chains and like some, like they don't have this brand of that you're looking for, or,
What I don't understand is like if you've got these big chain stores, like part of their whole ethos is we want you to have the same experience if you visit us in Delaware as if you visit us in Seattle.
Yeah.
But then you go into like Walmart in Lebanon and it's got one layout. And then you go to the one at the Dayton Mall, and it's a completely it's like they just reverse things sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, why don't you just pick one particular layout and do that? Because you're dealing with a big rectangle usually.
Yeah.
So you can just make things uniform. It doesn't have to be different at every Walmart you go to.
Right.
I don't feel like anyone is like being floored or wowed by the fact that, wow, look at the layout this one.
Target's the same way. Every time you go into a Target, they have a different, like, weird layout.
Yeah. It's like, just pick one and make it the same at all your stores.
Kroger, well, but then, Kroger seems to be, like, kind of consistent wherever you go. But with, like, the new, Kroger marketplaces and everything that pop up, or stores that get remodeled into a marketplace, there's like a scale of like what that marketplace is going to offer. So your layout changes based on that. Like the Lebanon layout is different than the Miamisburg layout, because the Lebanon layout has to include clothes.
Yeah.
But, like, Miamisburg doesn't have clothes. But then, like, some layouts have to include furniture, you know, and...
But you could still say, like, if you are a marketplace that has these things, here's what it's going to look like.
Right.
And it's the same at all of them,
Yep.
you know? But, again, we're not dealing with, like, boutique stores where you want something very unique when you walk in.
No.
Just be like...
I want to be able to find the same products at the same spot, at the same store, no matter what store I go to.
I don't understand why some Walmarts have... like groceries on the left side of the building, and then others have them on the right. And it's just like what?
It's
why?
Very annoying.
Just pick one.
Luckily, like DVDs and stuff are always in the center back.
Yeah, they can do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, we want to switch it up a little bit for our store, so we're just gonna flip-flop the groceries
and the
whatever home decor.
Home decor, yeah, it's always like home stuff.
Home stuff and like the automotive, you know.
Yeah, but then again, like the Walmart in Mason, by where I work, has groceries on the right and home goods on the left. But then, like, and then the one in Dayton has home goods on the left and groceries on the left, home goods on the right.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't you just put the home goods with the groceries? Like, if you're going to put, like, something in front of the groceries, because there's, like, the, groceries and then an aisleway, and then the middle section of the store that has different departments.
Yeah.
You put the fucking kitchenware over by the goddamn groceries instead of, like, the picture frames and female clothing and baby clothes across the aisle from the groceries. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. At least Kroger seems to do that. They do seem, at least at ours in Lebanon, the home goods.
It's like right in the middle of all the food.
Yeah.
Or kind of like, it's one of the aisles.
Yeah.
You'll go like food, home goods, food. Yeah, that's the same way at Miamisburg Kroger.
So that's our treatise on the layout of of your shopping, whatever.
Just make
chain
it the same.
stores.
Just do the same thing. Also, Target, stop selling groceries. Fill that space with something else.
You don't like they sell groceries at Target?
No, because
Why
their
not?
selection is terrible. Like, because they're not... Target was never a grocery store when I was growing up. And it's just like... They just have like this tiny, where everywhere else has like a large grocery section, and then other things seemed like, it's like we offer groceries and also clothes and DVDs and, toys and whatever. Target is like, hey, we offer clothes and toys and movies and electronics and also groceries. And I'm just like, you're wasting your time. And it always feels more expensive at Target. Like,
I feel like Target's grocery section is there not really for people who are going to do their grocery
it's for
shopping.
Convenience.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I was picking up all these other things and I need
milk.
Some milk or some cereal.
I agree. But then there are people that grocery shop at Target, and I'm just like, you're wasting. Why are you here? Like, go to Kroger. That's where you get like all of your food.
Maybe they're using their Target card because you get money off if you do that.
You get money off at Kroger if you use your Kroger card, and that's free.
Well,
you don't have to get a Target credit card or a Kroger. You don't have to get a Kroger credit card. You just get a Plus card, and that's free.
But you're building credit.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, I don't know.
You get money off your gas too with a Kroger Plus card.
I don't know if Target has any gas stations
I
anywhere.
feel like some of them do.
They probably do somewhere.
Which again, I'm just like, stop it. Be a department store.
They do have super Targets.
They do have super Targets. I don't think I've ever been to one.
I've been to a couple of them. They're nice.
Yeah.
It's like
just the Target Walmart.
Yeah. A little bit bigger. I like Target more than Walmart, though.
I do
will
too.
say that.
Well, I just feel like classier people shop at Target. No offense, Walmart. But, like, you don't really go into Target and see, like, people consistently in their pajamas shopping.
Yeah, it does feel like the filter is weeding out a little bit of the riffraff at Target somehow.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's slightly more expensive.
That could be. I'm not going to that uppity Target. Shopping there. Oh.
I don't know. I like Target.
They have a good electronics section when it
It's
comes
pretty
to a
decent,
store like
yeah.
that. That's not Best Buy or
Mhm.
GameStop. I feel like they do good sales every now and then too
Yeah.
on video games.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like you have to check frequently because most of the time when I go to Target and look at their movies and stuff, it's kind of like it's hit or miss. Like the stuff that I really want is still like $20 or $25 maybe, and then
Yeah.
there is some stuff that I'm like, yeah, I'd $10 or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'd own that movie, but I really want like this one. Like, why isn't that one?
They sometimes get deluxe versions of albums that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah,
Like
they
Target
do. They get
exclusive.
Target exclusive albums.
I think
Yeah.
I got 1989 from Taylor Swift. They had like a Target exclusive
Yeah, it's always
I
got
got
like
there.
a couple bonus songs on it or something like that.
and deluxe package.
Yeah. When I used to buy CDs, I definitely would buy CDs at Target because they would do that a lot.
So what else? What else do we do up there besides?
God, nothing. We were such, I don't know, just such a chill band, and I think we talked about it last week on the cast, but that's just like our vibe. Like we love to have fun, but our idea of fun is just like hanging out, getting some pizza, watching a movie, drinking a beer, hanging out with Don, just making dinner, like.
Going to the video store.
Yeah, going to the video store. We didn't do anything. It was very fun hanging out with Josh the 2 times we did. I felt very, I think I said it on a previous cast, but it was very nice to have, like, a professional relationship with him, but, like, also being friends with him and getting to hang out. Like, that's not something he does with every single band.
Yeah. Because what do you say? I was in the 5-timers club now.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my 5th time going up there and recording with him. So, and that goes back to 2009, I think, was the first time I went up there.
Yeah.
So, we've got a good history, built up a really good rapport. And the first weekend when you went home, I went over there on that Sunday and watched the WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Josh's wife Sarah made some amazing sushi.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm bummed to miss that.
I
That would have
know.
been awesome.
It was like right up there with the best sushi I've eaten at sushi restaurants
Really?
too. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was pretty impressed. Made a huge spread of like I think 4 different kinds that we put in the table in the center and we're all just, taking from. And
That's awesome.
sat on the floor Japanese style and
Yeah.
watched some wrestling.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It was a good time. And then when we went over the other night and watched Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, which is what I was going to talk about next.
Yeah. They brought out like a whole snack cart.
Yeah. So funny.
It's like full service, movie theater style
Yeah.
with actual like popcorn tubs that you
Yep.
would get at a movie theater and candy, soda.
It's great.
The whole thing, whole production. So, and the movie was really good too.
The movie was great. First Wes Anderson movie I've seen. And, man, it was excellent. I'm kind of like, why did I sleep on this for so long,
Yeah.
Like, I want to see the rest of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, Grand Budapest was awesome. The story was great, not what I expected at all. I didn't know what to expect. Like, I think, And if that is a basis for the rest of his movies, I think every movie I'm going to be like pleasantly surprised, because I feel like you watch previews for Wes Anderson movies and the only impression it gives you is that it's a quirky movie.
Yeah.
That's all. It doesn't give you story. It's just like, hey, look at these quirky people being quirky.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you like watching Grand Budapest Hotel, the story was very funny, very intricate,
It gets you, the more, I guess, the more common it becomes for people to experience stories through like Netflix shows or Hulu shows where you have like an entire season or multiple seasons to draw things out, the more I'm impressed at movies.
Yeah.
Because you only have like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get people invested in characters, to tell them why they should care, and then sell them on it and have them fully into it by the time the credits roll.
Right.
So it's it's easy to get into a show, and a lot of times people make allowances for programs. It's just the way it works for some reason, where it's like, well, you really get into it after like the first season.
Yeah.
And you think about how much time that is, and like how much time shows have to build characters.
They really don't hit their stride until...
Yeah. And it's just, I feel like it's common, really.
Uh-huh.
But then you look at movies, and it's like, clock's ticking on the time you have to sell people on why they should give a shit.
On that, I haven't explored it personally very much, but I feel that I prefer movies to shows, because when I'm watching shows, I'm just like, okay, this is boring, like, get to the good stuff. I don't need all this character establishment.
Yeah.
But that's what the show's there for. That's what the first 5 episodes are.
Yeah.
But you get a great show like Stranger Things that really had a good pace to it. There was still a lot of, character development and whatever, but it happened, I feel like, at a relatively good pace to where by episode 5, things were well underway, and you were very intrigued in the mystery and very aware of who each character was. But other shows, I'm just like, okay, I'm bored now. Just like waiting for something to happen.
And you're not going to be bored by our album.
No.
Our album moves at a great pace.
It does. It has a great... it starts at the top and descends, and each song, we kind of bring it down for you right to the middle of the album, and then we bring it back up, fake out, and then we end at the top again, and it's such a great just way to spend 45 minutes. Lots of lots of ups and downs.
Yeah. So it's just, it's going to be a nice piece of media for you to enjoy, just as you would a nice movie or television program. The process of recording this was really interesting compared to any other project that I've done before, because it was a lot of imagination as opposed to just recording what you had already come with going into the studio.
Right.
There was a lot of just tinkering, and then getting an idea into the computer, and then having Josh move shit around, well, try and go up on that, and have him move that note, from something that was played into the, on the MIDI track. So it's pretty cool to go in and record that way, because as we were talking about, it felt very easy, almost like criminally easy.
Yeah, it did. Like there were a couple times where I looked at you, or we might have looked at each other and been kind of like this is just, it's so different. It's such a different way to record. But, I had to remind myself through the process, like, okay, this is how pop music is done.
Yeah.
It's okay that you're not tracking drums on a drum set. Like, it's okay that literally the entire album was recorded on a keyboard.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it's done. That's how pop music works.
Yeah. When you're used to recording using instruments for your entire career in music, it is, it's strange to just walk in and sit there in the studio, like at the control booth, and just basically say, well, how about we do this, and
I want an instrument that sounds like this.
Yeah.
Or how about a synth that kind of sounds like this? Or, this one part in this one song, like, let's listen to that part. Okay, do you hear that instrument? Let's find something similar to that.
Yeah.
And then that became the task. It was like, write a harmony or write a melody, and then just sit there and scroll through instruments.
And because it was constantly moving in that direction, it never felt like we were stuck. Because even when you were trying different things out, it felt like you were getting closer and closer to what you were imagining. And that's so much different than sitting there for 2 hours while someone's trying to, like, nail one part.
Or like write a guitar solo in the moment, or whatever it might be. Or, we've been in a situation where we only have like one guitar player that's going to record, so it comes down to they only are able to write so many parts during practice because they can't play rhythm and lead at the same time. So then we get in the studio and it falls on them to kind of write leads in the moment.
Yeah.
And then that's when you have them just like sitting there being like, well, that's not right. That's, and it can take a really long time to get parts like that figured out.
But it was so easy for us to come up with parts during this because the parts that we were coming up with were pretty simple.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what they needed to be on an album like this. It's not, we weren't trying to show off anyone's like keyboard playing skills.
No.
It's just a few notes.
Yeah.
What sounds good.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the thing is, when you play, when you do just like a 4-note progression, but then you do 8 other 4-note progressions and you layer it all on top of each other, like, that's pop music. That's how it's done.
And it's so weird listening to the album because even though we're talking and openly admitting how simple the writing was, when you listen back to it, I'm like amazed that that's what we did.
Yeah,
like
me
I'm
too.
still, because when you're in the moment and you're just doing it, it's happening. When you go back and listen to it, it's like that is a big full album of stuff, and it almost like feels overwhelming to think about when we went in. A little bit, but the bulk of that album was put together over the course of the time that we were in the studio. And there's so much.
I mean, compared to what we walked out of the studio with, I originally thought we were walking into the studio with songs that were like 50% done.
Yeah. Not even close, though.
We walked into the studio with 10% done songs and walked out with 100% done songs,
We do like put together a deluxe edition of the album sometime. We'll include like another disc with the demos on it.
With the demos, just like, this is what happened. This is what we started with versus what we ended up with.
And I knew there'd be stuff added.
Yeah.
But it was just one thing after another. It would be like, well, let's add something else.
Yeah.
And something else and something else. And by the end, you've scaled this huge mountain. And it's just crazy to look back at, that ground level where you started from, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the couple people that I've played the music for so far, I've made sure, like, okay, you have to hear what this started as, and then like, okay, now listen to what we came out with.
Yeah.
Because the difference is it's shocking, honestly. it's too exciting. Like, I just want the album to come out tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like we took a lot of inspiration from various things, but without trying to do anything too different, I feel like we did achieve something that is fairly unique, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't exactly sound like an 80s album, but it feels like it has a lot of elements that pull. It's almost like if you took, just one of those bands and sort of they continued
Right.
on that sort of same track.
Yeah.
As opposed to completely jumping into something else, like maybe in the 90s, and changed to like a 90s sound. If they would have continued just evolving that 80s sound to the present day, that's kind of, I guess, how I would put it. It's
right.
As you said, it's got like a modern feel to it.
Right. Some of the songs are very electronic heavy and driving and powerful in the sense that, like, we originally said that we wanted to do something that was similar to Carpenter Brut and like Kavinsky and Mitch Murder and stuff like that. But I think a lot of that stuff it's almost like synth rock.
Yeah.
It's very heavy and driving, and like it's great for like a grindhouse type of movie. It's great soundtrack music for that kind of a thing. And some of our songs lean on that crutch.
Yeah.
We lean on the crutch of like being powerful and driving. But then we have lyrics on top of it, which kind of throws it into the pop realm.
Yeah.
And then there are other songs that are just wholly 80s, just so poppy and so happy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the album as a whole, I have not personally heard another album like it yet.
That's what Jess said too. She's like, I'm not sure that I've heard something quite like this.
Yeah.
Again, the influencers are there. It comes through kind of where we were going. But as far as like another album that you can say it sounds identical to, I can't really think of one.
Because you can't say it sounds like any of those synthwave bands because it's not dark enough. It's not powerful. I mean, it's powerful. It's a powerful album, but it's not like punch you in the face powerful.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't even know. We just managed to blend those new synthwave bands with a pure like 80s sound and just like kind of put it all in the blender, because we have one song where we listened to Wham!
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we want our song to basically sound like this. And then we have one song where we listened to Tears for Fears, and multiple songs where we referenced Gary Newman. But even though in the studio we never sat down and listened to the new synthwave bands, the influence is there because we listened to those bands for weeks prior to going into the studio. So the influence ended up being there. But all in the studio, all we ever listened to was pure 80s music.
And it's one of those things where I feel like some of the fans of those like super right in that genre synthwave artists, bands, projects, whatever you want to call them, a lot of fans of Kavinsky and such are probably going to hate what we came up with. Yeah. But then some of the others will love it. Yeah. Because it's not exactly a synthwave album. No. It is like a pop album with synthwave influence and elements of that stuff, But there are going to be things about it that certain people just absolutely despise, and that's.
I mean, if you like both Kavinsky and the new Paramore album, you're gonna love our album. That's, there's gonna be I would pitch it to a lot of fans of the new Paramore album, but there's going to be fans of that album that are going to hate it
Yeah.
because it's a lot of electronics and it's
Mhm.
not like, this driving guitar or whatever. But the ones that can see all the pop influence are going to love it.
Yeah.
It's just there's a little something for everybody, and I hope that we're able to pull people in from a lot of different places. Like, you like this? Okay, you'll probably like it. You like that? Or you'll probably like it. I mean,
Yeah.
even down to like, we could be like, hey, do you like Monster Squad and the Goonies and Gremlins? You'll
Yeah.
probably like our music.
Yeah. Because it gives you a certain vibe.
Yeah.
You know? As soon as we were maybe like 15 seconds into 10 speeds, Jess said, "This reminds me of Stranger Things." And I was like...
That's exactly what that's what it's supposed to remind you
Yeah.
of. That's great.
If you haven't noticed, we've been dropping a few song titles throughout here, so...
Uh-huh. You
some
maybe
clues.
listen back.
Yeah.
Listen back, you'll get some. I almost posted the track list on like my Instagram, and then I was like, no, I'll wait a
Yeah.
few more weeks. Because the album doesn't come out till September.
Yeah, so the end of September, so almost
Yeah.
is the...
3 months.
Yeah. I think we like came up with a release date on a podcast last year.
Mm-hmm.
I
think
remember
so.
that.
You said to me, you were just like, our album is coming out this day next year.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And now it is. It's going to.
Yep. You get that vision.
Yep. And we've got 3 months to prepare for it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I would hope, that we can really get on board with the way a professional band, does things. And I'd really like to release a video prior to the release of the album.
I'd like to do that, yeah. That would be
ideal.
Yeah.
Is getting a single and a video out there first and being able to promote the album with that.
I am almost 100% certain that, this PR company is going to be on board for it.
Uh-huh.
For helping us promote, which I'm really excited about because that could be huge as far as getting it out in front of people.
Did you send them the...
Not yet,
Not
because
yet.
I need to get my computer hooked up
Right,
still.
right.
But yeah, this PR company that I've been talking to, I mean, were you there when I was showing Josh like their client list, like who they've worked with?
Yes, and it's hefty.
Yeah.
It's a hefty list.
I mean, like they promoted like Katy Perry's last
Right.
album, so, and the list is just huge.
Right.
Just like...
It's everybody from like bottom of the barrel to Katy Perry.
Yeah. So, yeah, that would be very nice if, I mean, again, how could you not dig what we've got? I mean,
Yeah, I just hope that...
I've never felt so confident about
Yeah.
anything that I've worked on musically.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be a real letdown if people hate it. Like, it's going to really suck because I was talking to a friend earlier today, and I was like, I'm trying to kind of keep my hopes sort of level.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but it's really hard to imagine it's really hard to imagine not having at least some success with this album.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun to listen to, and it's so easy to listen to, and it's pop music, so it's full of hooks. And we've been listening to it for about 2 weeks now, but I'm starting to nail down words to every single song.
Yeah.
I've only had the album completely done in my CD player for 2 days, and I almost have the entire album memorized. Like, that's what you want.
Yeah. I've never had that before.
No.
Like, where my bandmates knew all the words.
Yeah.
So it's...
I mean, I know all the words to The Predator. I know all the words to 10 Speeds. I know all the words to Teenage Alien. I know all the words to Holding Hands. Like, it's it's up there.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I think I know all the words to Expensive Stopwatch already.
Well,
That's like half the album. So that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Only a couple days in.
Because I think another thing that helps with that is that the songs, they tell stories.
Mm-hmm.
So you can visualize things kind of, and I think that makes it easier
Yeah.
to remember if it kind of flows in a narrative way,
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it's great, you guys. We have songs about aliens. We have songs about vampires. Songs about robots.
Have a song about the Harvest Queen.
Yeah, song about the Harvest Queen. We have a song about a judge. We have a song about Predator.
Yep.
It's so fun. Like I was thinking on the way, there was a time during recording where I was just kind of like, is it too silly? I was like, is this too silly? And then I was like, I listen to the Aquabats all the time.
Yeah.
And they sing about fried chicken. So
Yeah.
I was like, if anything, we just fall into that category of bands that have great songs about ridiculous things.
Yeah. And that's going to instantly be memorable to
Yeah.
people, If you fall in line and just write traditional songs about traditional things all the time, then you might be good, but like, why listen to you as opposed to anyone else who's already been doing that,
Right.
that people are listening to? So
it's a lot of fun. I told myself, I was like, when you listen to Fury of the Aquabats, you're not sitting there just like cracking up at how ridiculous and silly the songs are, but they are silly. Like I said, there's a song about fried chicken. There's a song about a two-headed cat. There's a song about being attacked by snakes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're such good songs
yeah.
that you don't sit there and laugh because it's a comedy song. You smile while you sing because it's a good song and the context is funny.
Yeah.
And you're just like happy listening to it because I'm like, this is a fun song.
Yeah, it's just fun to listen to.
Yeah.
I don't think we didn't do anything, in my opinion, that's like, like, I hate describing things this way, but cringy,
Yeah.
because we had a spirit of sort of carefreeness about it when we made these songs. So
Yeah.
it's not like we were trying to do anything in this like, look how hilarious we are kind of way. It's just like, oh, this would be kind of silly,
Funny, yeah.
or funny, to throw it in, just, and it's a good time.
When
It's
we were
good
just
to
like,
listen
hey,
to.
let's make a spooky song.
Yeah,
And then we were just like, okay, how can we make this spooky?
yeah,
Let's do crows in the background.
Uh-huh.
How about some bells?
yeah,
What if there was like a Gregorian chant,
yeah,
in the background? And then we just end up with this sort of this spooky little song, but it's not like Rob Zombie level.
no, some of those are scary.
Yeah.
We
This
talked
is
about
just
the difference
spooky.
between spooky and scary
A lot.
songs,
Yeah.
and how we wanted to stay spooky, but not. We
Yeah,
didn't want to get scary with
Didn't
them.
want to get scary. Wanted it
Just-
to be like Michael Jackson's Thriller spooky.
Yeah. It's the difference between the haunted hayride during the day when
Yeah.
the kids can go on it
Yeah.
and what they do at night.
Right.
That nighttime is scary.
No.
We've got it's like a fun corn maze.
Yeah, it is. It's a great song.
Yeah. But we're talking about like the sort of silly but captivating nature of it, and it reminds me of something Finn Balor talked about once. And when he was in the Indies and in like New Japan, that's when he really started dressing up sometimes, like for big matches.
Yeah.
And I think you've probably seen some of the photos, like where he did the Joker once.
Yeah,
and
he's done Venom. And...
Yeah, he did Venom. He did the Punisher.
Uh-huh.
And he did all sorts of characters throughout the years. But, you know, he was like, that's stuff he's interested in. And he said that a lot of people in wrestling and entertainment in general are too concerned with, like, being cool all the time.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to be fun to watch and entertaining. And then somehow, in following that, he became cool.
Yeah.
You know, just by doing what he thought was cool. Just
right.
But, you know, cool for him. Not what, you know, I guess what society at large is going to think.
Uh-huh.
You know,
he was just like, hey, I really like comic books, and I really like these characters, so I want to dress up like these characters.
Yeah.
And then he did it, and everybody was like, oh, that's really cool. Look at that guy.
Whereas, you know, some people would still say, oh, that's kind of nerdy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to dress up like a comic book?
Seriously?
Yeah. You want to be like Spider-Man? Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I do.
So... You guys want to put bike sounds in your songs? Like...
Yes, and we did it. We recorded an actual bicycle and then put the sounds into the song.
The ringing bell.
Yep. The spinning wheel, the kickstand being kicked.
The brakes, the wheel hitting the pavement.
The gear shift clicking.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You guys will have to listen for that. It's on a particular song.
Yeah. Leaking all kinds of info.
Mm-hmm. I'm too excited about
I know.
it. I just want everyone to hear it.
They will.
Yeah.
You will hear it.
Like I'm gonna hang out with like Zam next week and Nancy next week, and they're listening to it. Like that's you know, it's like part of the whole reason I want to get together with them. Just like, look at this thing that we made. Look at it. Listen to it.
And then hopefully they're bugging you for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
Can you just send it to me?
Yep. Nope. You gotta wait for the album to come out.
Get your real copy of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next week we can discuss the album title. Because I don't think we've talked about that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we could drop that.
Yeah. It's a reason to check out next week's episode.
Yeah.
It will be the first place where we spill the beans on the album title, and maybe a little bit about the artwork.
Mm-hmm. Probably. And then, you know, you keep listening, we'll probably spill the beans on the first single and what the first video might be about. All that kind of stuff leading up to the eventual release party.
Yeah.
Release show, release party. Where the release show is going to be. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot to announce and put out there over the course of the next couple months.
Yeah, so anybody that's been listening to us talk about this for the last year, and, you know, if you've ever thought, like, oh, they're just blowing smoke at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, I'm not saying I told you so. I'm just saying, like, thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah.
Because it's finally here. Like, now instead of announcing plans of what we're going to do in the future, now we're announcing what's going to happen with the actual album that we now hold in our hands that we spent 2 weeks recording. So it's really exciting to be able to follow through on all this stuff we've been talking about. So if you've been listening and you're still with us, and, you know, thank you. And we're really excited that you're still here, and we're so excited to give you what we've been building up for a year now.
Yeah. So, yes, thank you very much. If you've been here for a while, or if you're just getting on board, you know, we hopefully this is proof, and we're going to continue to prove it that you know, we're not gonna BS you.
No, we've always said on this cast we are a band.
Yeah.
And we are. Now we are.
It's taken a while to get back to this point, but, when we decided that we were going to continue, I mean, we started with nothing.
Yeah.
Because once we went down to a 2-piece, all of our material was gone.
Yep.
So it was, it's funny. I remember having that conversation last year, I think when Dale left, and we were talking about what we're going to do, as far as moving forward at that point, and Bob was still around.
Yeah.
And I had this crazy idea. Well, maybe we don't even need a bass player.
Yeah.
And I, believe there was some resistance at that idea.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny that it worked out by going even further than that. So.
Yep. It's hard to imagine. It's interesting to imagine what might have come of it had we continued on without a bass player and tried to integrate a keyboard the way we had kind of talked about. Because when you listen to our album, there's fucking bass parts on there.
Yeah.
It's like we could have had a sound that included live drums, live guitar, pre-recorded bass, and synthesizers or keyboard parts.
Mm-hmm.
But, somebody didn't want to be a part of that.
Well, I think if we would have had traditional rock guitar, this album would not have happened.
Oh, no.
No,
Exactly. I don't think we would have achieved this level had we gone in that direction. I'm just saying it's interesting to imagine what the sound would have become.
Yeah. Definitely much different.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I would like it as much. This music is just too fun.
Yeah.
It's just too fun, and we wouldn't have been able to achieve that level of fun with certain people around.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Be a 2-piece.
That's right. Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Yep.
For this week. If you have been around for a while, and you've enjoyed hearing the journey,
Justin Ortiz.
Yeah. He's like number one dude.
Yeah, number one. If you guys need a number one, if you want to know who the number one fan is right now, it's Justin Ortiz.
Yeah. If you disagree, then
prove it.
Yeah. Step up. He's the number one son.
Yep.
We're gonna buy him a LeBaron.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna buy him a Red Baron Corbin pizza.
So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking around with us. Things are about to get real fun.
Yes, they are.
So put on your fun suit.
Yeah, put on your get your party pants on. Grab your fanny pack and your party hat, and just know that when our album drops, just be ready to dance.
Be ready. I feel like they brought Zima back.
Yeah.
Maybe go get some Zimas and have a listening party.
Oh man.
When it drops.
I'm gonna have a listening party probably soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a very special listening party for close friends and family.
We could host like a listening party
at the shop. We should at the shop.
Fun.
Yeah.
A big party.
Mm-hmm. We should do it like a month prior to release.
Yeah.
For just invited guests. A listening. Mm-hmm. That would be great.
Yeah.
And have Zima.
Yeah.
Only Zima.
Only Zima. That's it. You have to drink Zima.
Yep. Zima and Miller.
Yeah. Their ad campaign's really good.
Is it?
I don't know if you've seen any of the commercials. Like,
I haven't.
oh, it's all like retro stuff, you know.
Good. I need to try it. I've never had a Zima.
It's kind of like Sprite
Really?
with alcohol. Yeah,
I'd probably be into it, honestly.
probably so. I mean, it's a total high school kid drink.
Yeah. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah. All right. Well, stick around, and we'll see y'all out of here.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed that episode, chefs.
I know I did.
Me too. That's about it for this week. So, as always, again, get in touch with us. Send us an email, superdivorce@superdivorceme.com.
Be sure to add your email to our mailing list.
Yes.
Go to superdivorceme.com and enter your email at the bottom of the page. And you know, people do this. I subscribed to Gerard Way's mail list and Justin Pierre of Motion City Soundtrack's mailing list. So if you want to know like the most recent news about us, that's how you're going to know, other than listening to this podcast.
Yeah. Because even if you follow us on Facebook, you know, if you're not on at the right time, our post might just completely go unseen in your feed. So that's a good way to make sure that you keep up with whatever news we have, and we won't spam you or anything. So
we're only going to send you important stuff.
At the most, it would be maybe one email a week when we really get things ramped up here. So that, and then Facebook.com/superdivorce, Twitter @superdivorce, Instagram @superdivorceband, and if you want to get in touch with me anywhere on social media, you can just look me up at Nicholas Villars.
And you guys can find me on Facebook somehow. Good luck. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @BenderButt.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. Bye, chefs.
Bye-bye.
Super Divorce.